just run us through team news, injuries, etc. Obviously 2 games in like 3 or 4 days.
No, we're okay. It's only the ones that were unavailable from last week, really. We've got Jeff Cameron still with the physios. Spoke to John Walters today, recovering well. It's very positive. Jack Butland's the same. Stevie Allen's just had a procedure just to take pins out of his leg, which hopefully will push him on as well. So apart from that, it's as you were.
Mixed feelings about Bojan going on loan for you?
Well, he was getting a little bit frustrated, and in fairness, he and his representatives have been ringing up and coming in and discussing his opportunities, or from their point of view, his lack of opportunities. And it was unfortunate because, in fairness, Joe Allen coming into the club and doing so well in Bojan's preferred and specialised position, that affected, obviously, my thinking in terms of his selection or not. And in fairness, it wasn't going to change anytime soon. I thought that there might have been more opportunities with some of the guys away for the Africa Cup of Nations, but as it panned out, didn't really work out that way for him or for us, and given no opportunities, and probably it's fair to say didn't make the most of them. So I think from our point of view, we got good options, lots of different options. He wasn't happy with the situation, so to get him some football, we felt it was the best thing to do.
Saido said last Friday how pleased he was for another opportunity. He seemed genuinely delighted to be here. How's he got on, and when do you think he might be pulling on the shirt for the first time?
Well, you're right in saying he's delighted. I don't think he stopped smiling, to be perfectly honest. There seems to be a lot of weight that's gone from his shoulders, and I know that for a fact. So he's just really excited by the opportunity that he has here, and just can't wait to get started. He'll be in the squad tomorrow, rather on Wednesday. He's not where he can be, or the potential that he has. He won't be at that level as yet, but he's trained every single day. Looked really sharp. Really encouraged by what I've seen in training in terms of his work and the types of runs that he does, and I think that's going to be of great benefit to us, and that's the reason we wanted to bring him here. So nothing in training has disappointed me up to this point. He still looks sharp. His work is of a high level, so he's clearly probably not 100% right to go straight from the start in terms of completing 19 minutes, but certainly can play a part. So that's why he's in the squad for Wednesday.
The impression from West Brom, though, was that he was months away from Phoenix.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure why that would be the case. He's played 3 or 4 under-23 games during the months of December and January, so that tells you that he's able to complete games up to a certain level, clearly not Premier League level. But like I said, I'm not sure what the motivation was behind those statements. But on the eye, and from what I've seen and what he's produced since he's been in the building, he looks not a million miles away from it. So on that basis, that's why he's involved.
Everton on Wednesday. What have you made of them this season and the work Koeman's done? I mean, at times they've looked quite dazzling, other times less so.
Well, yeah, I think there was a little bit of pressure surrounded Ronald initially, and very early days, but that's the nature of being a manager in the Premier League, and if you don't get consistent results, then people start to question your position, and he's had that this year. I've had it at some periods during the season, but I think if you give people time to get their thoughts in place and have an impact on the team, then managers that understand the league, and that's something that he does. Clearly he's been in the league a number of seasons now, and if you give good people time to obviously get their work done, then you start reap the rewards as a team and as a club, and that's what's happened with Everton. I feel recent results in the Premier League have been very, very good. He's changed things around, changed personnel, changed maybe the makeup of the team, brought younger players in. So he's certainly having an impact in his first year.
I'm sure the 31st of January's got a tick on it in your diary. Are you hoping to have more players here tonight?
I don't expect too much to happen. In fairness, we've done quite a lot of activity during the window. I mean, we've got Saido in the building, clearly. Lee Grant, which was an important one for us. We've done that one. We've recontracted senior players as well. We've allowed a number of young players to go out on loan as well. So in terms of actual activity during this window, it's been quite high, but not all been high profile, clearly. But we think we've had a decent enough window. Whether or not we'll be able to do any more as I sit here, I think it's unlikely, but you never say never. There's always time while the window's still open.
And Stoke always had a habit under previous management of pulling a rabbit out the hat at the last minute, so it could happen.
Yeah, it could happen. I've always said I like to do business early if I can, so the quicker you can get them in and integrate it into your group, the better from my point of view. Some people view maybe leaving deals late that you get a better deal. The reverse of that is that you can actually get worse deals. So I think it's all dependent on the circumstances. I've done really good deals late in windows. Other times I've done them very quickly, and you get them bedded in and integrated in your squad, and you benefit from that. So every deal is different. Every makeup of a deal in terms of finance or whatever can change, and the timing of it inevitably doesn't run smooth in a window. You have to just wait for everything to line up, and then you can get the deal done, whether or not it's at the beginning or at the end.
Unbeaten in 3 Premier League games, which is good. And would you aim your ambition as a top 10 finish, as you've done in the last few seasons?
Well, yeah, I said a couple of weeks ago that if you look at how the Premier League seems to be forming, the top 6 look like they're going to be away from the rest of us. And I don't think anything has changed my thinking on that in recent days. So from my point of view, we have ambitions hopefully to be better than 9th, which we have been in the last 3 years, and that means from 6 downwards we think that's a possibility. Clearly the next 2 games we've got against Everton, who are above us, and West Brom at the weekend, who are above us. So the next 2 fixtures can go a long way to determining whether or not we can hit the levels that we hope to this year.
Thanks very much.
Mark,
So,
you said how difficult it can be to get people in this window. There's a few rumours around that you might be in the market for a defender. Is that a position you're looking to get?
We look at all areas of the team, to be perfectly honest. It's about making sure that we're covered for every eventuality. If you can look that far ahead, and you can never preempt everything or every possibility, because things happen negatively sometimes, and you have to live with those moments and try and work your way through them with the personnel you've got. But it's fair to say, if we felt there was one area of the side that maybe we just need a little bit of strengthening in terms of numbers, then probably it is in defensive positions. So we'd look at that if anything of interest really appealed, but we're not really that far down the road in terms of being able to actually get somebody over the line in those positions or anywhere else at the moment. So I don't anticipate we'll do anything, but I said that Friday morning before we signed Saido, so believe what you want to believe, really. But it's very difficult. Like I said, I'd like to tell you, yes, we're definitely doing something, but truth of the matter is I don't know.
Okay. Saido said that he was looking for some guidance, and he thought that you, as an ex-striker, somebody who prolifically scored goals, was a good person to be with at the club and to learn from. What have you seen of his raw talent, his goal scoring potential so far?
Well, yeah, I mentioned earlier about the quality of his runs, and actually, we had a session the other day, and I was just talking to him after in terms of the work that he'd produced on that morning, and basically his quality of runs were excellent and couldn't be faulted. It was actually the rest of the team that needed to understand the type of runs the Sido was making, because maybe we haven't quite had that type of run to find, and sometimes certainly the other day we were probably looking at the options that we've always had, and different options maybe not being as prepared as we need to in the future. If Sido's playing in the team, we need to look to release him more readily. So that was interesting from my point of view, and maybe that's what we need to work on in terms of getting the best out of him, and the team understanding how to get the best out of Sido. So that will come over a period of time, I would suggest. But I'm really encouraged by what he's shown up to this point. Once he gets fully up to speed, then he's going to be a good player for us.
Do you think he needs that guidance that he said? Do you think he really needs an arm around his shoulder and some...
Well, everybody's different. Everybody reacts to criticism or guidance, if you want to put it that way. It's guidance from somebody could be perceived to be criticism from somebody else. So I mean, it's how it's taken on board. I think Sido's in a place now where he's receptive to everything that we're giving him. He understands he's got a clean slate here, and his relationships he can build from this moment onwards, and that's important for him moving forward. He needs to grasp this opportunity. I have no doubt that he will. I sense that from him. So we're really encouraged by him being in the building and what he can bring to us as a team and as a group. So he's going to have to work hard. Obviously, it's a strong group and a hard-working group, and he needs to match those levels. But there's every reason to believe that he will do that.
And as a striker, former striker yourself, to get a 20 goal a season or plus, how difficult is that at the highest level?
No, it's really difficult. I didn't manage it very often, if at all. So I understand his thinking in terms of, well, I think it's important that people give him a little bit of time. I think everybody's aware of the situation that he's just come out of, so it's not going to be easy for him initially, and we may have to wait for him to be fully up to speed. But I think very quickly people will see the qualities that he can bring, and will benefit from that. So I think he's got a platform that will enable him to prosper. He's only a young man still. He's only 23 years of age, so we're going to reap the benefit of the best years of his career, in my view. So I think everybody should look forward to watching him perform.
You mentioned about Everton and West Brom being above you. So do you see the next two games as probably two of the most important so far this season?
Well, the important clearly because the next one's up, but that goes without saying. But yeah, it's always important that teams in and around it, whether you're top, middle or bottom, you need to take points off the ones that immediately in front of you or behind you. Just so happens the next two games are the ones immediately above us, so clearly we can damage their ambitions if we can take maximum points in the next two games.
There seems to be a definite divide in the league. You mentioned it, that the top six teams, and then Everton are kind of the top team in the next kind of section of the division. How can you aim to be the top team in that next section of the division and push further?
Well, we just got to keep the consistency that we're showing at the moment. That's important. We've had a good start to the new year, so it's important if we can build on that start and really have a settled run in terms of personnel. That would help us clearly, and obviously having the opportunity to integrate our new signings as well, and see how that helps us. But I think from now to the end of the season, we've got real opportunities to do something that hasn't been done before here again. We always talk about trying to push ourselves every year, and albeit 7th is a high line. It's one that we think we can get to. I think because of the fact top 6 seems to be a little bit away from everybody else. They seem to be getting the job done against teams below them, and making it difficult for us to get any higher than that 7th. But maybe that, as a consequence of that, maybe the total will be a little bit lower in terms of points that you need to get those 8th or 7th positions. So we'll see how our season develops, see if we can do it.
Everton have got arguably one of the most dangerous strikers in the league in Romelu Lukaku, and they've got other dangerous players. Is there any particular threat that you're going to be concentrating on tomorrow?
No, well, I mean, the Premier League tests you every week you're playing it, and irrespective of the opposition, almost every team from the top to the bottom has players that, if given the opportunity, that they have the potential to hurt you. And Everton, in fairness, have more than most. You have to say they've got different threats centrally, out wide, and creatively in the middle of the park as well. So they've got a good squad at the moment. There's a little bit of momentum behind them as well, clearly after their performance against Man City and Crystal Palace of late. So they'll be enjoying their work at the moment. So it's up to us to make sure that we disappoint them on the night.
One last one, and they've got a couple of young players that are looking quite special at the moment. Is that something that each club should aim to bring?
Yeah, I mean, it's really important, and I think if the players are good enough, then they will get opportunities. Clearly, Everton have been producing good young players for quite some time. That hasn't been the case here, in fairness, and because the quality hasn't quite been at the level that it needs to be for me to even think of integrating younger players from the academy into the first team. But that's changing. Clearly, Julian Guy has made the breakthrough and has been involved in first team squads, got game time as well. So for us, that's on a par with obviously the signings that we make, and him breaking through from an academy role. That's significant for us, and hopefully we'll get more players coming through now, given that we've invested so much in that part of our club. Okay.
Mark, given your result against Wolves, were you not surprised when they overturned Liverpool at the weekend?
Well, yeah, they're a good side on the counter-attack. We got caught a couple of times and didn't play particularly well against them in the first half. Played better, I felt, in the second half. I seem to recall their goalkeeper was outstanding in the second half and kept us at bay, and then they get a free kick at the other end and score a second and win the tie. On the basis of the 90 minutes, they probably deserved that. But they're a good side, they're doing well. I didn't think we underestimated them. Maybe Liverpool did, given the team they picked. I went with a strong team, and on the day we didn't perform. That can happen.
Your new signing, Sadio Bergwijn, has he lifted the atmosphere behind the scenes with the other players?
I think new players stimulate the group. Don't think spirits had to be lifted. We were in a good place at the moment, Premier League wise. So it's always good when a young player comes in. That enthusiasm, that excitement of being part of a different club, obviously helps him as a person, but the rest of the group gets lifted by it as well. And when a good player comes into the building, you want to obviously try and integrate it and engage with him as a player, and vice versa, and that always helps the group dynamic, I think. So it's always good to maybe just move things around a little bit and have that stimulation that you need.